Hi guys, welcome to SMI Hub. My name is Julie and you're welcome to this space. So here I talk about everything studying and immigrating to Canada. Today I'll be talking about how to work unlimited hours as a student. I don't know why there's not a lot of information, but you do know that SMI Hub Canada is the one place where you can get information that not only leaves you satisfied, but gives you peace of mind. So my information is always verified. And if you know me, most times I put a link from the Canada website so you can verify the information, take it to the bank. If you're interested in this, stay tuned. So I'm going to do it in a frequently asked question format. I'll ask questions and I'll answer it. So I will start with, when can you start working in Canada? So you can start working in Canada as soon as you get here, provided that you do not come during the break that precedes your resumption. So for instance, if you are starting class in September and you arrive in August, which was the case with us when we came, you can't start working that August. You have to wait and start after you've resumed. So anytime from the day you resume classes, then you can start working. This is very important because there are people that have been sent back home just because they came 2 months before their studies just for the purpose of working to get some money to pay their tuition. So this video is really going to be targeting those of you that wants to use some of the money you make from working to help offset perhaps your living expense or your tuition. If that's the case, it's fine, but just make sure you start working after you start classes. And then the second question is, so what do I do from the moment I land at the airport? When you land at the airport, you're going to be moved over to the counter where the immigration officers or the border officers are, and they will give you your study permit. You want to make sure you check that permit, because sometimes I feel like these officers process a lot of permit. They do study permit, they do work permits, they do, so many things. So there can be omission or they can just forget. So make sure you check your permits and make sure it says that you are allowed or you are eligible to work on and off campus. If you don't have that clause or that sentence on your permit, then you won't be able to work. So make sure it states that you are able to work on and off campus for 20 hours. I think that's what it writes on that permit. And then make sure you go off to get your SIN. Usually there are like kiosks or counters in the airport where you can process your SIN right away. I remember we landed at Toronto Pearson Airport in Toronto, and then we went down. There were some people at a particular corner that were processing SINs, and we're able to get our SIN processed. I can't remember now, but I don't think we got the SIN slip there, but they told us we're going to mail it to any address we provide in the form. So we provided our Airbnb address. So make sure you provide somewhere that you can get your document from at least within a week. You have to be sure that you still be there for like some couple of days so you can get your SIN. That's very important. And I think you also have I don't think they can mail it to a post box, I'm not sure, but for us, when we arrived, we put in our Airbnb address, and that was a physical home address of where we're staying at that time. Now we're moving to the next question. Where can you work? As a student, where can you work? Like if you are coming, you want to be targeting places to work, right? So you can work both on campus and off campus. The rules are different, and I'm still going to get to the unlimited hours shortly. So the rules are different, and when you are working off campus, you can only work 20 hours. You can only work 20 hours, and the onus is on you to count your hours so that you don't work above the required number of hours. So make sure you keep tab on that hours. Usually most of these part-time jobs are often shift jobs, so you get to choose the window of time that you'll be available in the week. So maybe you're working next week, you get to choose if you'll be available from 3 to 5 p.m. or from that's very short time, so like from 3 to 9 p.m. on Monday, and maybe you don't have classes on Friday as well, so maybe like from 1 a.m. it depends on the type of job to daybreak at 6 a.m. so you can count the number of hours, and I tell you 20 hours is a lot of hours, especially when you are a student, you are juggling your studies, and masters can be so intensive. PhD as well, because when you start your PhD, you will start with coursework, but the coursework load is not as much as masters, so there is a little flexibility there. The only thing is most PhD students are teaching assistants already, so they have that job already. Okay, so let's go back to what I was saying. Off campus, you can work 20 hours, nothing more. Now, let's talk about how you can work unlimited. And how you can work unlimited is to work on campus. So I will link in the description box the page on Canada website that talks about working unlimited. So you know it's verified. I don't share illegal information. Okay, so I will link it. But you have to be careful. If you're working on campus, it really has to be within your campus space. So it can be anywhere, but it has to be on campus. It means it can be any building in campus. So it can be a library. You can be working in a library. You can be working in the campus bookstore. You can be working in a residential hall. You can be working in a coffee store on campus. Now, for you guys that have more than one campus, like maybe you have 3 campuses, your school has 3 campuses, it has to be that campus where most of your study or most of your classes, where you do most of your classes. So if you have one campus in, let's say you're in British Columbia, you have one campus in, I don't even know. Okay, I don't live in British Columbia. So let's say you are in, I don't even know. Let me use Ontario as an example. You say you're in Ontario and you have one campus in Toronto and you have one campus in Barrie, and then there's another campus in Bradford or something. Make sure you do it. Let's say you do your classes, you are in the Toronto side of things. You are not in Scarborough or any other campus. Make sure you're working in Toronto, in your main campus. That's just that. And then the other thing is note that you can work anywhere. As I said, you can work in food courts, in halls of residence, in library, and also if you're a teaching assistant, you can work as a research assistant for unlimited hours. But most times, if you're a TA, teaching assistant, or an RA, you have fixed hours. You have fixed hours. In my case, it's 10 hours per week. So you have to find an alternative in that case. Your employer can be the school, so it can be your university, it can be a faculty member, like in the case of a research assistant, it can be a student organization. You might be working for the student union or something, the PSAC, whatever. And it can be yourself. And this is incredible. Like, people don't talk about it, but you can be self-employed as long as your physical business space is on campus. So maybe you own a coffee shop or a donut shop. Yes, you can work unlimited hours in that case, but it has to be physically in your campus. Now, you can work for a private business as well, as long as they are located in campus. So there are a lot of private businesses on campus. Some people do like IT, they provide IT solutions to students. Some do this printing and lamination, all of that. So you can work for businesses like that. And you can work for a private contractor that provides service for your campus. So let me give you an example. When I came here, my husband was still looking for a job within the first month. We will be talking about how to find a job. I have so many things I need to tell you guys about, like so many video ideas, but not enough time. I can only film 1 video per week because I have a lot of things on my neck. And for you guys that have been telling me to drop my email, I don't do private consultation for now. This YouTube is structured in a way, in an open resource format. So you just come, listen, ask questions. You guys see that I answer questions. As I answer questions because of I'm a mom. I'm a PhD student. I work part-time. I have to also run my home. I have a lot of things, so I'm so overwhelmed. And if I answer to people individually, I won't be able to cope. I will burn out. And the number of hours, I just can't cope with my work. So I decided that I'm going to do this, but it will be just open resource. I'm not doing private consultation. I'm not an agent. Okay, so like I was talking about myself. In my case, when I came, while my husband was just applying for jobs left, right, and center, I had my teaching assistant contract, but I needed to make money. I needed to find another job. And I found a job at our catering. So I think it's a private contractor, but they cover my university's catering demands. So they provide foods in the halls of residence. They do catering service as well. So if my university has like an event, they cater for the event, that sort of thing. So it was a job as a server, so to serve food. That was the job description. I was just so lucky. I just happened to talk with someone. So that's the tip for you guys. If you want to get a job on campus, talk with people. Don't be shy. So immediately I got to campus, I told my supervisor if he knows anyone like me, maybe an international student that I can talk with, that can show me around campus. And he connected me with somebody, and sorry, it's a lot of emails. So he connected me with somebody. She took me around campus, and I was telling her, I said, I'm looking for a part-time job if you know anyone. She said, oh, you need to talk about this. Let me. She happened to be someone that was very connected. She was connected in this student union thing. So she's a student, just like she was even an international student. So she took me to the library where she was showing me around, and then she saw some of her friends, and she said, oh, look, this is my friend. We greeted each other, and then she said, do you happen to know anyone recruiting? This was in August, remember? So it was in August, like the last week in August. It was like, oh, I know the catering department, they are currently hiring. In fact, they are currently in the interview process. So if you go to so hall, you will see them interviewing. Just print off your CV, like print it off and go there. And that was what I did. I went there, and then they asked me, have you applied prior to now? Like, this is only for those that have been called for interviews. I said, I have not, but I said, I can do whatever it is you're asking. And they said, okay, you know what, come on over. And then they interviewed me, and they looked at my CV and were like, this is all research based. Like, I said, yes, but I can serve. I know that's what you're looking for, right? Like, we've thrown parties back home, and I serve. Like, I'm good at that. And while I was saying it, I was just smiling, because that was all I could do. Like, my CV was just different from what they were looking for. And then she was like, you know what? I like your smile. And that's what we need. Someone that is enthusiastic and ready to work. And she said, you know what? Okay, I'll take you. And she assigned me to the catering side, so the people that cater to events. So we get to, classified events, like the deans, things like that. So I met really nice, people high up there. In that process, I worked there for a year, and I waited till September started. Actually, they didn't start working till September anyway. So I waited till September started, so I don't contravene the law, the IRCC law. So I waited, and then September I started working when they called me, and that was just it. So you can look out for those. Ask people, talk to your friends, people in your cohort during your orientation. Talk as fast as possible, because most of these people recruit around August. So even if you are still back home by then, try to make contact. Then also check your student page. Many people don't check their student page before they come here to Canada. They just they update your emails, your student emails. So check your student emails. You will see updates on how to check your student page. Check your dashboard. There should be a place for job openings in your dashboard. So there are employers always looking for people. And that's how you can work unlimited. I hope I've answered your question. So to work unlimited, you have to be on campus, and then you have to work for an employer on campus. Any employer, but as long as it's on campus, you are fine. You can work no matter how many hours as you want to. Then another thing is to make sure that you are a full-time student. If you are a part-time student, then you can't work unlimited, except if that part-time is your final semester. So CIC allows you to do your final semester part-time, especially for people that have studied beyond the number of years they should, and then they've run out of funding. So that allowance is there, but it only has to be the final semester, except if you've become a PR. Okay, so yeah, that's just what I wanted to talk to you guys. Until the next time, guys, thank you for coming.